Hello, this is Nicole, and this is Options for Strategic Investors. And this video is about the synthetic short stock strategy. This video is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. Shorting stock is a common way to express a bearish outlook, but there's another way to achieve the same exposure that many traders overlook. It uses options to replicate shorting without actually borrowing shares. This video explores synthetic short stock positions, what they are, how they compare to traditional shorting, and why mastering this concept can strengthen your overall trading foundation. Synthetic short stock is an option strategy that replicates the profit and loss characteristics of shorting 100 shares of stock, but using only options contracts. Here's how it works. The synthetic short stock is built by selling a call option while simultaneously buying a put option at the same strike price and same expiration cycle. Let's move into the tastytrade platform to demonstrate what we just discussed. I have SPY populated in the charts, and for the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to assume that I'm expecting a sell-off in SPY in the short term, and I want to figure out the most efficient way to capitalize on that assumption if it's correct. So first, let's take a look at selling short 100 shares of SPY. After I click the bid, it populates the trade and gives us a negative delta of 100, a max profit of $62,760, and the buying power effect to put this trade on would be a debit of $31,381, and that would be in my margin account. And let's take a look at the analysis tab so that we can look at the profit and loss diagram. And you can see here that the position loses as the share price of SPY appreciates in value. And of course, the position makes money as the share price of SPY decreases in value. So pretty straightforward there. And now let's contrast this with entering into a synthetic short stock position on SPY. For this example, I am going to open up the August 15th, 2025 expiration cycle. And let's use the at-the-money strike. So I am going to sell the 630 strike call option while buying the 630 strike put option. And you can see here that the delta on that position would be just over 100. The max profit is $62,961. And the buying power effect is quite a bit less than selling short 100 shares. It comes in at a debit of $13,248. And when we look at the profit and loss diagram, we'll see that they are nearly identical. The synthetic short stock loses value as the price of SPY appreciates and gains value as the price of SPY depreciates. And we could put this trade on for a 34-cent debit. So I took a screenshot of each trade just so that we could compare how similar they are. They're basically identical. They both have the same unlimited upside risk and the same substantial downside profit potential. They move dollar for dollar, the same with the stock price. Now I want to touch on margin requirements. It's important to understand that margin requirements do differ based on the stock being traded, primarily due to varying levels of risk associated with different stocks. Factors like a stock's price, its volatility, and outstanding shares influence the margin requirement, with more volatile stocks generally requiring higher margin. And brokers do this so that they can manage their own risk exposure. So let's demonstrate this by taking a look at some individual stocks to see how they vary. First, we're going to populate selling short 100 shares of NVDA, and we'll notice that the buying power effect would be a debit of $8,604. And let's compare that to the synthetic short stock strategy. So I'm going to clear that order ticket here, and I'm going to open up the September 19th options expiry and populate the synthetic short stock strategy using the at-the-money call and put. And we're going to see that the buying power effect is less, coming in at $6,109. So in this particular example, it would be more capital efficient to use the synthetic short stock strategy relative to selling short 100 shares. Now let's compare this with something a little bit more volatile. I have MSTR populated in the trade tab. And we can see that selling short 100 shares would be a debit of $39,481 in buying power. And now let's compare that with the synthetic short stock using options. I'm going to clear the trade ticket here, and we're going to open up the September 19th, 2025 expiry, and we're going to use the at the money strike of 440. So when I populate that trade in the trade ticket, we can see that that would result in a buying power effect of $21,244.81. So again, quite a bit less than selling short 100 shares. And let's take a look at one more ticker. This time I'm going to populate Tesla. And selling short 100 shares of Tesla would reduce our buying power by $16,374. And let's compare that with the synthetic short stock strategy. So I'm going to clear the order ticket there. Let's open up the September 19th, 2025 options expiration cycle. Populate the trade using the at the money strike of 330. And we can see here that the buying power effect to put that trade on is $15,638.20. So not that different from shorting 100 shares of stock. So in this case, you might ask yourself, well, maybe I should just short the 100 shares instead of doing the synthetic short stock strategy, because there really isn't much margin relief to do the synthetic strategy. Now let's talk about break even and profit and loss. The break even is pretty simple to calculate. If you paid a net debit to enter into the position, the break even equals the strike price minus the net debit. And if you received a net credit, the break even is the strike price plus the net credit. So now let's talk about volatility and time decay. With synthetic long stock, volatility and time decay offset each other. Since you're both long and short an option with the same strike price and expiration date, changes in implied volatility should roughly offset each other, and the same goes for time decay. And I populated a screenshot here of a synthetic short position in SPY, and the Greeks are highlighted with the green arrows, and we can see here that this position has a negative delta of 100, a gamma very close to zero at 0.03, a theta of positive 5.57, and a vega very close to zero. It comes in at negative 0.10. So there are some things that you need to understand with the synthetic short stock positions. First is early assignment risk. You can be assigned on the short call at any time, especially if it goes deep in the money. And this is typically very rare if there's extrinsic value remaining in that short call. But when we get into scenarios where there's very little extrinsic value remaining, you do have that early assignment risk. Next is expiration risk. You need to be aware of your position's expiration date and manage that accordingly. And finally, special events. You need to be aware of corporate actions like mergers, takeovers, or special dividends, which can change typical exercise patterns. So I want to talk about another synthetic stock strategy advantage other than margin efficiency, which we just covered in detail. And that is that it eliminates borrowing issues. Traditional short selling requires borrowing shares from someone else, selling them at the current price, and then buying them back later to return them to the lender. In order to do this, your broker must locate available shares, negotiate borrowing fees, and reserve them for your trade. And sometimes this process can take some time and borrowing fees can get expensive. So with synthetics, you skip this entire process and enjoy immediate execution since options are created on demand rather than borrowed. So traders want to use the synthetic short stock strategy when they want short stock exposure with less capital, and they're bearish on the stock in the short term. And they want to avoid this strategy if they're uncomfortable with unlimited risk to the upside, if they're bearish on the stock for the long term, and if they want less than 100 shares of short exposure. Understanding synthetic short stock isn't just about applying one strategy, it's about seeing how the options market mirrors stock ownership itself. Once you understand how short calls and long puts combine to replicate short shares, you start to see how nearly every other option structure connects back to this foundation. It's a building block for other advanced option strategies, a framework for understanding how risk reward and capital efficiency fit together. If this helped expand your understanding of how options work, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're applying these ideas or what topics you'd like to see covered next. And if you'd like to keep learning and connect with other serious traders, you're always welcome to join my DITM 2.0 Discord community. It's a space for sharing strategies, asking questions, and continuing your education in a more interactive way. As always, thanks for listening. Be awesome. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment, financial, or trading advice. No recommendations to buy or sell securities are being made. All examples are hypothetical and for illustration only. All investments carry risk, including the possible loss of principal. Options trading involves significant risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Consult a qualified financial advisor before implementing any strategy and review your financial situation, risk tolerance, costs, fees, and tax implications. Options trading requires broker approval, and not all strategies are permitted in all account types. Returns shown are hypothetical and not guaranteed. Market conditions can change quickly, and results will vary based on market performance, timing, and execution. Read characteristics and risks of standardized options from your broker or at www.optionsclearing.com before trading options.